V'yela Toldos Yitzchak ben Avraham, Avraham holidis Yitzchak. In his forthcoming Shabbos' Parsha of Toldos, the Torah begins by presenting us with the genealogy of Yitzchak, and that his offspring, who should have been mentioned, V'yela Toldos Yitzchak ben Avraham, Esav and Yaakov, as Rashi mentions, but they are not mentioned as yet, but rather Avraham holidis Yitzchak, explains Rashi, due to the fact that there were Litzanei Hadar, there were scoffers who suggested that given that Avraham and Sarah lived together as husband and wife for so many years without the ability to conceive a child together, and then suddenly after Sarah was taken by Avimelech, she's able to produce Yitzchak. Therefore, the pasuk goes out of its way to tell us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw fit to see to it that Avraham and Yitzchak looked exactly the same. Yitzchak was a dead ringer for his father, in order that everyone would well know that as Yitzchak would go forward in life, Avraham holid as Yitzchak. Avraham Avinu was the true father of Yitzchak. But perhaps there is another reason why this is mentioned here and is interposed between the statement, these are the generations of Yitzchak, the son of Avraham, and the actual story of Esav and Yaakov. And I suggest as follows. The very next pasuk explains, Vayehi Yitzchak ben Arba'im Shana, Yitzchak was 40 years old. B'kachto is Rivka, when he took for himself as a wife Rivka, the daughter of Besuel the Aramean, from Padan Aram, the sister of Lavan the Aramean, as a wife. And here the Chassam Sofer comments that perhaps the reason that we are being told of the age of Yitzchak, that he was 40 years old when he took Rivka, is to inform us that much as the Mishnah of us tells us, Ben Arba'im Lebina, that first at the age of 40 years does a person begin to really develop a keen sense of understanding, a keen sense of appreciating not simply what he learns, but even that which he has already been taught. Much the same, suggests Chassam Sofer, it was only when he turned 40, coupled with the fact, B'kachtois Rivka, when he took Rivka, who was the daughter of Besuel an Aramean who engaged in idolatry, and she was the sister of Lavan the Aramean who engaged in idolatry, and he, as all of us know, was a cheat. Only then did Yitzchak begin to understand what it means to grow up in a home of Avodah Zarah, as did Rivka, to be indeed a tzadekes bas Russia, bas Rishaim generationally, and still be able to withstand all of the influences around her and be able to emerge as a righteous individual. Only at the age of 40 did he realize what Rivka, in fact, had managed to achieve in life, and through the lenses of his appreciation of his wife Rivka, coming from the house of Besuel, the sister of Lavan, did he first begin to appreciate, implies the Chassam Sofer, that his father, Avram Avinu, had experienced much the same. Avram Avinu was the son of a Rasha, Terach, an Oved Avodah Zarah. And yet, he became an Avram Avinu. And it was first at that point in time that Yitzchak truly began to appreciate his father on an even deeper level. And with this, perhaps we can explain the added words. V'yela Toldos Yitzchak ben Avraham. And these are the generations of Yitzchak and Avraham. The entire story regarding an Esav who is so different from a Yaakov, who will be born to the same mother and father. And it will not be an easy challenge for Rivka, let alone for Yitzchak. But states the pasuk, Avraham holid es Yitzchak. At the age of 40, Yitzchak, when he took for himself a wife, Rivka, he appreciated the fact that Avram Avinu, his father, came from such a house of Avodah Zarah, and Avraham holid es Yitzchak. And he still managed to raise Yitzchak as Yitzchak. Avram had no chinuch. He had no cheder other than Shem va'Ever, but he didn't have the same kind of household in which to be raised as did Yitzchak, as Yitzchak raised Yaakov and Esav. And nonetheless, he produced a Yitzchak. Well, when Yitzchak understood this and appreciated the challenges of his father, as he himself was about to be confronted with the parenting of his own children, did he take succor in that and receive great chizuk support, energy, and hadracha to raise his own sons of Esav and Yaakov. Avraham holed Yitzchak, which gave way to Yitzchak's ability to try to raise the sons, the children that he would be granted. So often in life, particularly when we leave the stage of adolescence and become young adults, and then when we marry and have our own children, do we first begin to appreciate what the challenges were for our parents, who were not necessarily as blessed as we were, insofar as the chinuch we received versus that which they received, insofar as the materialism and the comfort that we receive from our parents versus what they have been given by theirs. And when we do reach that point, and we do avail ourselves of that greater understanding, that greater bina, ben arba'am labina, at whatever age we become the parent, do we first truly begin to appreciate just who our parents were. Have a wonderful Shabbos.